relation with law enforcement.
Yeah.
On the people that live out in that area. And we believe, and this is our theory, that he had help. We believe that when they left that house.
So I was going to ask you for your theory on this. Okay.
Well, we believe that when they left that house, because they were at each other's.
You're saying that? Oh, you're saying they? Okay, so I want to make sure who they were.
Yeah,
okay, got it.
Danielle.
Alrighty.
When we know that they were seen leaving by witnesses, that it was real tense when they left the house. Now Austin probably made about what, 2-3 times Danielle's size.
Yeah, he weighs about 430 pounds.
Yeah, big guy at the time.
Big guy.
Big guy, and Danielle weighed about 130 pounds. She had a little temper. When Danielle had a mouth, she had a temper, and she had no problem, giving it back as much as she got it. But when they left that house, we have people that have said they were very, very angry at one another, especially him. And when he left, Danielle, like I said, there was a text from one of the friends at the house texting her around 4:15 in the morning, and there's documentation of that, asking if she was okay. Was she okay? And no response. And that wasn't like her. Danielle couldn't go a whole week without calling me up and saying, "Mama, I just want to hear your voice. I miss you." She was very close to her niece and nephew and her sister. She talked to her almost daily to one another. Danielle would, if she wanted to get away, she would come to our house. If she had, in years before, time before, if Danielle was somewhere she wasn't comfortable with, she'd go home. Danielle wasn't one of these kind of children that wandered. She didn't just get up and go anywhere. If I didn't hear from her, it would not be more than a week. It wasn't like her to have left her child, for one. She was extremely protective and very tight with her youngest child because of the other issues that she had with her older two children and that family. She just would not have gotten up and left everybody and not reached out to anybody. Danielle, it wasn't a silent person by any means. And we believe that whatever happened was on her way home or when they got home. And we've been told, you get calls and everything from psychics and people that's mediums and people, we get this all the time. They just, but some of it seems,
so far.
But what's so ironic about that are the things that they tell us are linked in so many ways.
Yeah.
The things that we hear from one, we're hearing it from someone else, almost verbatim, not to a T, but what they're saying, pretty close in theory.
Bits and pieces,
in theory.
But link up.
This is just what we hear. This is, that he's evil, and that he would not cave. That what he did.
Jack on Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, that what he did, something that we've been told that she's in a open well in water. We've been told that someone said that she was in on some property that was in a underground, not buried but underground. When Danielle went missing, my daughter had set up a Facebook page and is still currently today, Bring Danielle Home. And she also had set up, a real good friend of ours, had set up a GoFundMe page. Well, with all the issues that were happening with, she had never had any, her relationship with her ex-family, her ex-husband and their family was very volatile, verbally volatile, not physical. And the sister had started attacking her on her Facebook page about the problems that were happening with her older two boys and her husband, and that Danielle was a horrible mother, that she allowed this all to happen, and that she was, she allowed the boys to be mistreated and all this kind of stuff. So she literally started a war, and I mean a horrible war on Facebook, on media, with our family and my daughter, and totally more or less saying she got what she deserved kind of attitude, and just attacking everything. And it really, really put a huge hindrance on what we could have probably found out and been able to maybe get further ahead with the help of the people out there in that area. It turned into a horrible back and forth war with all kinds of people on Facebook and media. People think that helps. Maybe it does to some degree, and I feel that but at that time, and it went on for about a year. That was just a horrible. Finally, they quit. They backed off. They finally stopped.
You said they. How many people were
The
talking
people
about?
in this group.
Yeah,
probably about 200 to 300 people in this group.
Wow.
And it amazed me how people. What would they do if it was what would they do if that was their child, their family, their member? And how would they, how would they have taken it if somebody just started attacking them? We're trying to find a missing loved one. I don't care all the other stuff. We want to find out what happened to her. Where is she? These kids need their mom. I don't care what you think of her. These boys need their mother. And how she has been gone or what happened to her is she didn't walk off. My daughter did not walk off. Danielle would have reached out to us. It's been 3 years. 3 years for us. Danielle would not have walked off from her family. That child loved those kids more than ever. And you could tell, even in the year that she was fighting her ex-husband for her children. Danielle was at every court date. She was at every visitation except for the last one. She missed one in that year because she had the flu. But she made a point to be at every visitation. And the only reason she didn't make that last one was because her husband had turned off all the alarms. And she had to be there by 8 o'clock or before 8 o'clock in the morning. Otherwise, she missed out there on their visitation. She just wasn't that kind of person to leave and not tell anybody where she is. And there were so many signs, so many things that happened before and after that we do believe that her disappearance was involuntarily.
There was two things.
Okay.
She either disappeared around. There's a gentleman that lives around the corner that they keep saying that was kind of like his second father.
He claims to be.
And he's got about
30.
30 to 200 acres around the corner from him, at which they dig material out of the ground to sell. And they got big pits and everything over there.
We could see it through Google Maps.
Yeah, that's one place. And then the other one was when his mom came and picked up that baby. Because she turned right back around and went back to Louisiana. And she either went in the dumpster or went to the landfill.
We have combed those areas out there.
Before all this happened, years back, we'd been around them, and her husband had made comments that they knew how to get rid of people, and nobody would ever find them.
Yeah. And the people that he knew were in some way connected to law enforcement.
Yeah.
Somehow, some capacity, they have family in law enforcement or themselves directly in law enforcement.
Yeah, that's a guy around the corner.
Yeah.
So what county is that?
Montgomery and Harris.
Yeah. We believe that, and anytime anybody asks the law enforcement, they don't have anybody of interest, and that their statement is that she was left at home. Her husband had left her at home. His last time to see her was that she was sleeping on the couch.
they keep on telling us, well, we've had people, been missing like 5, 10 years, and then all of a sudden we find them. They're 4 or 5 states over, and then all of a sudden they show up. And it's
I
like,
had the attorney, I had the officer that we've been dealing with. His comment to me one day was, oh, well, we found this woman who'd been missing for like 10 years. We found her off in the woods living. And I'm thinking,
Who was that?
somebody. That
yeah.
was,
Somebody. Who was that?
Yeah,
We want to name.
right.
Who was that? I don't remember anything
I
about
want to
that.
look that up for myself.
Yeah. So
Verify that.
yeah. So we, we haven't had, we did in the beginning, for the first probably month, maybe 2 months into this, we had good communication, good,
Yeah,
you know,
that
a
first
lot of
detective we had
was-
kept us
yeah.
informed, kept
And
us
it kept
what was going
looking.
on, and who they were getting in touch with. That way you're right up to speed. But as soon as this other guy took over.
Yes. They did search that entire property.
Well, they didn't do the entire property. They searched everything that he would let them search. There was three or four places on that property that he wouldn't let them look.
But they did look at his truck.
But that didn't happen for how many months?
About 2 or 3 months afterwards.
I
After
see
he'd
it,
done
you would see
cleaned
stickers, you would see
he'd already taken
dirt.
bleach to it, and I mean,
When they finally
Bleached this
checked the
thing.
truck out, they took her vehicle first
right.
because they said that there was a gun in the back of her back seat. So they took that vehicle, which wasn't even with them that night, and took it and had it checked out. But Austin's truck, they said that Austin's truck was the worst kept truck. That it had
All kinds of junk just thrown in the back
It was
of the
kind of like
bed.
a trash truck in the side inside the truck. They said one friend claims that he lost a pack of cigarettes because it was so junked out that he didn't clean it out. But when the police got it, it was spotless.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Oh yeah. Then they kept it over in Conroe for about a month. But
So,
we went by there and take
cleaned it all
pictures of
out.
it sitting out there in the impoundment.
Yeah.
It's like, you gotta be kidding me.
But every time we've told our story to anybody that claims to say they'll help us, that it tells us they've got all kinds of authority and all kinds of
They could check this or
this
check
and
that.
military, the what was that, the Rangers.
Yeah.
Believe me, we've talked to umpteen thousand people, and they claim they can do this and do that, and we give them our story, we tell them all what's going on, and the minute they call the police, all of a sudden we don't hear from them, or they don't have time, or they can't help us. Please let us know if there's anything else we can do.
And you think that's because
Shut
goes
down.
back to
Being shut down.
They
That's us. That's how we're, guys, this is, when you get hit in the head about that so many times, and different people come at the angle so many different times, everyone gets shut down and they back off.
Right.
Why? Why is it somebody, you hear all this, you hear people talk all the time on these shows and all these, whenever it's involved a wife or a husband or, in that kind of, they go after the other party. They truly do look heavily at that person. He's not even been touched. He's not even been sniffed at.
Yeah. Once they
took his statement, that was it.
That and he lowered up.
Yeah.
They want no part to mess with him.
We can't get any motion, any kind of motion to get somebody to take this seriously. That there was foul play here. They won't. They keep trying to go back. And when we went to that property, the one that we've been talking about, we had to fight tooth and nail because they didn't want to spend the expense of having an officer stand out there waiting on that Sunday. They didn't want to pay the extra money for it. We've just been shut down one after the other. And 3 years have gone by now.
snap of your fingers too.
Yeah.
One way, yeah. You're in there trying to do all you can, and all of a sudden this time's going by.
Yeah.
And you put your head up and go, oh my gosh, it's been 3 months, it's been a year,
Right.
not 3.
You know, and we have friends that have had, you know, the other couple that you're talking to. I don't know how many years it's been that their child's been missing. We have another lady friend that we, her daughter has been missing for 7 years, I believe it is.
Allie.
Alan.
Oh, you're talking about
Lois,
Joanne.
yeah. So
Yeah.
there's, I mean, we know people.
Then
you
we know the Ruggs.
Yeah,
But
their
their
son
son,
went
Kyle,
missing a month before 2 weeks. Their son
come up
disappeared.
missing just a couple of weeks before ours.
Yeah.
And that happened right out there in Katy, Texas, out there.
No, he was in Livingston.
That's where it started at. But they ended up finding the car and everything right there in Katy, right there where he was living at.
Yeah. So we know that there's a lot of families. We've gotten, and you know, I don't want to be part of this, you know, familyhood. I don't want to be part of this.
No one does.
But they are part of our family now. But we do believe in we're just praying and asking that we know somebody knows something. We truly believe there's people out here that know the truth and that are afraid to speak. That even if they don't think it's anything that can help us, tell us.
Yep.
Say it. Get it out there, because you don't know what that might lead to. People get afraid to say things, and we know that we need that openness, you know, for that. My dream was coming out that back door and going over to the driveway, and a car had pulled up, and my daughter had gotten out of it and was walking towards me. And that I went down to the ground, and I mean, it was just as vivid as I could be. And it looked like she was just you know, just worn out.
What emotion were you feeling?
Oh, it was just, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. I literally went down on the ground, and I could see her face, and it was just, you know, worn. But after that, and she was just walking, and that's all I can remember. I woke up after that. I can't sleep. I might get 3, maybe 4 hours of sleep at night. When all this started happening, I was up all night. I would wake up crying. I'd go to bed. I still, to this day, I wake up, and it's a 24-hour deal. His comment to me, he said, my biggest fear is that I'm going to pass on and never know where my daughter is. You know, that's his fear. Mine too.